Hello, I am the Gentlemanly Gamer, and welcome to the Undisputed Nerds YouTube channel. You're about to watch a clip from our podcast, which we do every week, and you can find on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of your other favourite podcast platforms. Don't forget to leave us a like and a subscribe on the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and we hope you enjoy the clip. So, Doctor Strange, he's in the Multiverse of Madness. He's all about it. He's coming up. Things are happening. We all know from the trailer now that either Patrick Stewart or the close approximation of Patrick Stewart's voice will be in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. But there was a recent Instagram question and answer with that other famous Professor Xavier, James McAvoy.
Yes.
He's on the list for me. He's a gorgeous man. I love you, James McAvoy, when you're out there and listening to this. And he was asked if he'll appear in Doctor Strange in the sequel. And he answered extremely bluntly. His response was, no, I don't think so. So he is not going to be in the X-Men movies. He he was asked if he does miss playing Professor X, and his very blunt answer was, no, I don't.
Wow.
So he sounds like he's moved on. I mean, he's like, let's be honest, McAvoy is quite a. I mean, he's doing a lot of stage work at the moment. Like, he's not doing a lot of mainstream film work.
Right.
I think he just won some. I want to say it's a Novello, but I don't think it is. But he's won some kind of like stage award for one of the plays that he was just in recently. So he's doing fine for himself, and he always will do fine for himself. He's an incredible guy. I love him so much. And but yeah, are you disappointed to not see his version of Xavier back when we've got Patrick Stewart's?
I guess like a little bit. Patrick Stewart will always have a place in my heart as Professor X. I think with McAvoy, his relationship with Michael Fassbender's Magneto, it just worked hand in hand the same way that Patrick Stewart's did with. Why can't I remember names this evening?
McKellen,
thank you. Yeah, Sir Ian McKellen. So yeah,
you've done that on the podcast now, by the way, just for the thing you intimidate your dog with. You've now done on the podcast the tongue thing. It's out there.
Know.
Do not edit that out. Do not edit that out. Zane is responsible for the editing, guys. Do not edit that out.
I really, especially his performance in First Class. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think quintessentially speaking, everyone's Professor Xavier really everyone's Professor Xavier is Patrick Stewart. I mean, he was born to be the role. I think that McAvoy did an excellent job. I truthfully don't think a lot of people thought that First Class was going to be a success. I really don't. I think they thought it was a wild thing to do and just let's make Matthew Vaughn happy. And then when it was a success and it was really good, everyone was like, oh, wow, now we've got to bring these guys back. And then, they brought him back. And I think that for me, McAvoy was much more in line with Professor Xavier than I think Fassbender's Magneto was in line with. The way that you can look at it is basically look at it in Days of Future Past, where it's like you've got the idea of the past and the present between the two of them. McAvoy's lines up pretty well with Patrick Stewart's, like it really does. Like when there's actually a scene between the two of them where they talk to each other across time. It's great and it works and it does make sense and and you can actually believe that this man probably turns into him. I don't think you could ever believe that with McKellen and Fassbender. I'm not disappointed that he's not coming back. Plus, it means save him for another time.
Yeah, definitely.
There'll be nostalgia for him. Oh, he's everything. It does raise the question. Maybe they didn't use him in this because they're going to bring him into the mainstream. Maybe they'll use him as Professor Xavier in the main MCU.
I'd like that. I think the one thing that came up quite a lot during his run on Professor X is the whole idea that Professor X could be a baddie in so many ways, which I know they've explored more recently in the comic books and such. But yeah, I think that's the.
They've explored that for a while, though. I mean, it's not just recently in the comic book. I would like to. I genuinely would like to. If they're going to do an MCU thing, I would like to see an Onslaught saga.
Wow,
What?
that's something to ask for.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, it's so huge, isn't it? That story, like it's a massive omnibus, and like it's complicated for no good reason.
Yeah, okay. So so the story is very complicated, but think about that in the terms of kind of like what I'm trying to say is that the last. So as far as the MCU is concerned, the cataclysmic event that we've had recently was Thanos. That was the big earth-shattering cataclysmic event, and then it's kind of gone on from there. How does it work when the cataclysmic earth-shattering event is from a hero? You know,
you're right.
But yeah, you'd have to do a lot of setup for that because obviously, it's when he wipes Magneto's mind and then forms another being out of consciousness with, it's basically
massive shoulder blades.
Well, yeah, aesthetically speaking, but I mean, like, it's difficult because it's a psionic entity made out of Charles Xavier and Lensher's like subconscious, but. I would like to see it. He's very powerful, so I would like to see it a lot.
That's fair enough.
That's just me.
Fair enough.